रूपं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखावितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चादेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Okay, Hare Krishna. So we will continue from yesterday. How to discharge devotional service. Yesterday we saw the purity of devotional service, how the devotional service is so pure that nothing is required. If somebody somebody has done complete surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord, then he is not obliged to perform any ritualistic activities, any occupational duties of his varna and ashramas. It is also compared that one who has been doing his duties so nicely, very perfectly, but he has not taken to devotional service. So, such kind of occupational perfection has no meaning because it will not lead to perfection of life. So, one will be continuing the Janma Mrityu Chakkar, Samsritim, Samsara Samsritim. So, in this world, he will be taking birth, dying, again taking birth, dying. So, like that. So, bhakti can be done by anyone, as one can take bath in the Magh month. Anyone can take bath, but still people don't go to such holy places like Prayag to take bath. Anyone can take bath, but still people don't go. Many all people don't go. So it is again their choice. But from a scripture point of view, nobody is restricted. They can practice bhakti. Mm. And bhakti finishes the, I think, okay, it's here or somewhere. Bhakti finishes the subtle body. It's in third canto. Like a subtle, when we eat some food, so the digestive fire burns that food and then it removes the unwanted part and it transforms the wanted part into blood and other things. So the fire, digestive fire, in the similar way, bhakti burns away the subtle body. The whatever is conducive for the bhakti, that part is it keeps in our life, subtle body. Whatever is conducive, it keeps, and whatever is not conducive, it just burns away. So in this way, one gets liberated even in this body. If he's in the body, he gets liberated because subtle body finished means you are liberated. Gross body finished means you have to take another birth. So that is there. So bhakti finishes the subtle body, gives the liberation. And without surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no perfection. It is in the scripture, it is said that Vishnu can only give us liberation and no other demigods. So by worship of any other demigod, one will not be able to leave this world. One will again be born in this world. So therefore, for mukti, even beginning with the Brahma mukti, Nirakar Brahman mukti, even that also beginning with that till going to Golok Dham, all are accomplished by worshipping Lord Vishnu, not by worshipping some demigod. So like that. So a devotee, if he worships Lord Krishna, gives up his occupational duties, so then he will be incurring some sin because he is not doing the duty. So then Krishna says that I take charge of sins, and I protect my devotee. Name bhaktya pranashyati. And even if my devotee falls down because he has given up his occupational duty, even if my devotee falls down, then I correct him once again, I bring him back. So it clearly says that we should not be doing any activity which is contrary to devotional service, which is favorable to devotional service, one should be doing. So those activities which are in Varnashram, which are favorable to devotional service, conducive to devotional service, that is called Daivi Varnashrama, where we engage our activity in the service of the Lord. Though it also takes care of our incompleteness in surrender to Lord Krishna. It takes care of that, and it also helps us to advance to complete surrender to Lord Krishna. So this is a benefit. So nothing we have to do which is against devotional service to keep ourselves protected, because devotional service has no prashchitta also, we saw. Even if some devotee falls down, he just continues the rules and regulations of devotional service. And we also saw that even if somebody is following rules and regulations properly, he will not fall down, as we saw yesterday. But even if he falls down, the Krishna will pick him up. So both cases we are seeing that. So yesterday we saw all those things. And also for liberated person, there is no ritualistic principles indicated in the Vedic supplements, because Vedas are meant for people in this world who are engrossed in material enjoyment. So Vedas are meant for them to gradually liberate them. And once one has already got liberated, then he need not to follow ritualistic principles. He can set examples, like Janak Maharaj followed Karma Yoga to just set example, not for himself. So he has personally nothing to do with such ritualistic performances, only to set example for society they do. Okay. So that also we read yesterday here. Today, how to discharge devotional service. Okay. So now, yes, Priya Gaurangi Mataji, you can read. How to discharge devotional service.
Shall I start reading, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Srila Rupa Goswami states that his elder brother Sanatan Goswami has compiled Hari Bhakti Vilas for the guidance of the Vaishnavas, and therein has mentioned many rules and regulations to be followed by the Vaishnavas. Some of them are very important and prominent, and Srila Rupa Goswami will now mention these very important items for our benefit. The purport of this statement is that Srila Rupa Goswami proposes to mention only basic principles, not details. For example, a basic principle is that one has to accept a spiritual master. Exactly how one follows the instructions of his spiritual master is considered a detail. For example, if one is following the instruction of his spiritual master and that instruction is different from the instruction of another spiritual master, this is called detailed information. But the basic principle of acceptance of a spiritual master is good everywhere, although the details may be different. Srila Rupa Goswami does not wish to enter into details here, but wants to place before us only the principles. He mentions the basic principles as follows. First, accepting the shelter of the lotus feet of a bona fide spiritual master. Second, becoming initiated by the spiritual master and learning how to discharge devotional service from him. Third, obeying the orders of the spiritual master with faith and devotion. Fourth, following in the footsteps of great acharyas, teachers, under the guidance of the spiritual master. Fifth, inquiring from the spiritual master how to advance in Krishna consciousness. Sixth, being prepared to give up anything material for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. This means that when we are engaged in the devotional service of Krishna, we must be prepared to give up something which we may not like to give up. and also we have to accept something which we may not like to accept. Seventh, residing in a sacred place of pilgrimage like Dwarka or Vrindavan. Eighth, accepting only what is necessary or dealing with the material world only as far as necessary. Ninth, observing the fasting day on Ekadashi. And 10th, worshipping sacred trees like banyan tree. These 10 items are preliminary necessities for beginning the discharge of devotional service in regulative principles. In the beginning, if a neophyte devotee observes the above mentioned 10 principles, surely he will quickly make good advancement in Krishna consciousness. The next set of instructions is listed as follows. First, one should rigidly give up the company of non-devotees. Second, one should not instruct a person who is not desirous of accepting devotional service. Third, one should not be very enthusiastic about constructing costly temples or monasteries. Fourth, one should not try to read too many books, nor should one develop the idea of earning his livelihood by lecturing on or professionally reciting Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. Fifth, one should not be neglectful in ordinary dealings. Sixth, one should not be under the spell of lamentation. Okay, one should not give unnecessary trouble. Okay. Should not be under the spell of lamentation in loss or jubilation in gain. Seventh, one should not disrespect the demigods. Eighth, one should not give necessary trouble to any living entity. Ninth, one should carefully avoid the various offenses in chanting the holy name of the Lord or in worshipping the deity in the temple. 10th, one should be very intolerant toward the blasphemy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna or his devotees.
Okay, 1 minute. So, so these are the 20 preliminary angas of bhakti. Entry door, as Rupa Goswami Pad says, these are the entry door into bhakti. Okay. So here it is mentioned that Rupa Goswami Pad is not explaining the detail. He is explaining the principles only. So Prabhupada gives an example. One spiritual master says something, other spiritual master says something. So which one to follow? These are the details. But one has to follow spiritual master. But the basic principle of acceptance of a spiritual master is good everywhere, although the detail may be different. So details may be different. It means, like as we discussed, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj said 64 rounds to chant, and Srila Prabhupada said 16 rounds to chant. But now we are following some acharya. Some acharya we should follow. It's not that we should not follow acharya. We should follow. And it is also possible, like Narottam Das Thakur was initiated by Loknath Goswami, and then he took Siksha from Jiv Goswami and other Srinivas Acharya also. So they are initiated separately, and but they took Siksha from somebody else. So that is another thing also. So it can be different. Srila Rupa Goswami does not wish to enter into detail here, but he wants to place before us only the principles. So detail has to be learned from Guru basically. The Guru can teach more about it. Sometimes it may happen like somebody may not be happy with instruction of his Guru Maharaj, and then he may see that other Guru Maharaj is giving very nice instructions. So he may go for that. But is it offense or is it? So he can clarify with his Guru Maharaj that I am fit in doing this service, and this Maharaj is guiding in this service. So can I go and take his shelter for this service? So then he can follow like that. Actually, there was a Bhishma and fight between Bhishma and Parshuram. Parshuram was also Guru of Bhishma, but Bhishma said that I have taken a vow, I will not marry. And then Parshuram said, this hmm, Ambalika, I think, Sikhandi, she had reported before next life she became Sikhandi, but previously, so she reported to Parshuram ji that he is not marrying me. Hmm. So then there was a fight, and Bhishma almost means he was victorious. Hmm. So then Parshuram ji said, "Okay, whatever you wish, do that." He left him. Hmm. So this is another example also, that he kind of followed his principle which he had taken, the vow, and did not rejected that vow. Now we also hear that one should follow spiritual master. Like somebody is taking vow of on Ekadasi, I will not eat anything. But if spiritual master says you please eat something, so we should eat on that day because spiritual master is saying like that. So again, it depends upon our adhikar. If we are very very advanced, so we understand the mood of spiritual master. Example, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Nityanand Prabhu, do not come to Jagannath Puri, go to Navdeep, preach there, and do not come back here. But next year he came. He understood the mind of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when we are very, very advanced, hmm, when we understand that what is the mind in the mind of Guru, how much freedom he gives, so then accordingly one can behave, interact with Guru. So like that. Here you see this pilgrimage, a sacred place of pilgrimage like Dwarka. So this will also come later in the 5 items, 44 में ना 44 में से पांच आइटम में एक ही आएगा. Residing in the sacred place like Dwarka or Vrindavan. Okay. And then which else? और कौन सा था वो? Hearing Srimad Bhagavatam not there ना? Hmm. Being prepared to give up anything material for satisfaction of Lord. This means that we are engaged in devotional service, we must be prepared to give up something which may not be like to give up, which we may not like to give up. Hmm. Also, we have to accept something which we may not like to accept. So, anukulasya sankalpa pratikulasya varjanam, that is mentioned here. Hmm. So, that is also one of the anga of bhakti. We should be prepared to give up anything material for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is also anga of bhakti. Inquiring from a spiritual master to advance, then following in the footstep of great acharya under the direction of a spiritual master. So under the direction of the spiritual master, we have to follow the great acharyas, teachers. So spiritual master says how to understand our acharyas, then we have to follow in that way. Obeying the orders of a spiritual master with faith and devotion. With faith and devotion, one has to obey the orders of a spiritual master. Faith and devotion. Faith that I will be successful if I follow. Srila Prabhupada writes that Vyavasayatmika buddhi eke he kurunandana. So when I read that purport of this shloka of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur purport, so a disciple should take the order of Guru as one's life and soul. So Prabhupada had faith in those words and he had devotion for the Lord. So obeying with faith and devotion, being initiated and learn how to discharge devotional service. So initiation is not enough. Again, we have to learn. So therefore, Siksha Guru is important to teach how to render devotional service. Okay. And again, accepting only what is necessary or dealing with material world only as far as necessary. Hmm. So whatever material world, we should not become bogged up with so many responsibilities. Only accepting what is necessary. Hmm. It's not that in the name of Yukta Vairagya, we start doing everything. No. Whatever is necessary, we should do that. The Prabhupada used to say, do the needful. Many times you must have heard this statement from Prabhupada conversations. Do the needful means accepting what is necessary. Somebody has to earn money, somebody has to hmm, do some obligation in regard to one's family, in regard to some relatives, some kind of things. So then they have to execute those things, accepting, but not indulging too much. In the similar way, even the spiritual activities we are going to learn ahead here, one should rigidly give up the company. One should rigidly, Prabhupada uses the word rigidly, company of non-devotees. So one should be rigid about it. I should not associate with non-devotees. When we are preaching, we are giving our association to them. We are not associating with them. It means we sometimes it appears that we pamper people, but pampering is just to bring them to bhakti. Pampering is not to take their association, and they start taking us very for granted or very casually. No, that should not be the goal of pampering. Whatever pamper we do, it is to just make them follow the rules and regulations of bhakti. Hmm. One should not instruct a person who is not desirous of accepting devotional service. This is another thing. This is a which offense in holy name? Which one?
Ninth.
Ninth hai. Yes. Means one should not tell the glories of holy name to a faithless person. Same thing here. If somebody is not desirous of bhakti, one should not instruct. Don't instruct him in bhakti. छोड़ दो, जाने दो. इंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ भक्ति मतलब क्या है? उसको बोलना आप इतना करो, वो करो, ये करो, आप मंदिर आओ, ये करो. Like I remember, I spoke in some lecture at some place, at house, that at least once in a month you should come to temple. Even that became so much heavy. So, so they said that this preacher is very strict preacher. तो आई सेड अरे एक एक महीने में एक बार बोलना माने को तो वो भी आपको स्ट्रिक्ट लग रहा है. So then I stopped going only. ठीक है, no problem. So without, if there is no desire only to, okay, somebody can say that I may not go once in a month, twice in a month. So ठीक है, there can be some negotiation, and not, it cannot be totally giving up that I don't want to go. So once in a month is not a very tough thing, and once in a month we should wake up and do Mangal Arti, early Mangal Arti. So what is the difficulty in this? That is not very strict thing. But those who do not want to practice, they just simply want to do drama in bhakti. So then they kind of accept these things. कि जैसे भी करना है करो. So one should not be very enthusiastic about constructing costly temples or monasteries. Now just see costly temples. Means big temples, costly temples. Why one should not be enthusiastic? Who will tell? ऐसे क्यों बोला गया है? आप तो कृष्ण के लिए कर रहे, क्यों बोला गया ऐसा?
ओवर एंडेवर.
प्रयास, वेरी नाइस. ओवर एंडेवर. बिकॉज आपको बहुत सारे अमीर लोगों को पैम्पर करना पड़ेगा. अरे आप हमारे मंदिर आइए, थोड़ा डोनेशन दीजिए. बहुत लोगों को आपको चमचा लगाना पड़ेगा. ऐसा है. So many people you have to meet and you have to say that please come, please help us. So Prabhupada said when he was in Radha Damodar temple, he did not worry about making temple because he did not have money. He simply focused on writing books. But when he went to America, Prabhupada said that when I went to America, I saw these people have a lot of wealth and they want to contribute. So then I told them make big temples. So this is the whole understanding. So when we have big congregation, then everybody should be like another thing. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, when he made Yoga Peeth in Mayapur, so he collected one rupees from every Grihastha devotees. Every house he connected one rupees. At that time, 1 rupee was still a big thing. So one rupee, rupee coin he collected. So he did that. He engaged. In the similar way, when the congregation is very big, when our congregation is very big, so therefore, then we should make a big temple, because it's not that one person is working hard. Everybody can work hard and bring some money and make temple. But when congregation is very small, so then we should not extra endeavor. Then somebody can say, but tomorrow it may grow. So if tomorrow it may grow, then the whole concept is to not work hard too much. Hmm. Hmm. Not becoming too much enthusiastic. Costly temples or monasteries. One more thing is, if you make costly temple, you have to always have some need of donation to maintain that temple, because costly temple does not remain costly. It does not take the cost only in the beginning. It also takes the cost in the middle. Yes, like some places, if the taps are very costly, so then if they become worse, then for repairing, no repair happens. You have to again purchase the new tap. So big cost actually. And one should not try to read too many books, nor should one develop the idea of earning his livelihood by lecturing or professionally reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. So too many books reading which are not devotional books. One thing is non-devotional books, and even the devotional books also, one should read to understand, not to become scholar. स्कॉलरशिप का ऐसा भाव नहीं रहना चाहिए उसके अंदर। हाँ, हमें अपने आचार्यों को, प्रभुपाद को समझने के लिए इच्छा होनी चाहिए। या सर्विस है हमारा स्कॉलरशिप का, तो सर्विस भी कर सकता है कोई। लेकिन स्कॉलरशिप का बनने का इच्छा नहीं रखना चाहिए। ठीक है। तो एट द सेम टाइम इज मेंशन वन शुड नॉट डेवलप द आइडिया ऑफ अर्निंग हिज लाइवलीहुड बाय लेक्चरिंग। तो ये भी अच्छा नहीं है कि हम लेक्चर करें, कोई में पैसा दे। हम्म, और ऑन प्रोफेशनल रिसाइटिंग श्रीमद् भागवत, देखो ये मना किया गया है। कई लोग करते हैं कि नहीं, आपने देखा होगा, कई लोग करते होंगे। हम्म। अच्छा, क्यों मना किया है, कौन बताएगा? व्हाई इट इज टोल्ड नॉट टू डू? हु विल टेल? यस, रेज योर हैंड। व्हाई वन शुड नॉट अर्न लाइवलीहुड बाय लेक्चरिंग? व्हाट डू यू थिंक? एनी गेस?
It's part of bhakti.
हाँ, इट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ भक्ति, करेक्ट। सो देन व्हाट मे हैपन?
उसका वो ये चला जाएगा फिर, तो शुद्ध नहीं, जो प्यूरिटी है वो चला जाएगा। और
Yes, he starts taking devotional service as a means of livelihood.
Yes.
ओके ना? कि अभी मैं
Yes.
इससे पैसा कमाऊँ, तो उसमें यू कैनॉट प्रेजेंट द नॉलेज प्रॉपरली. That is why earlier why it was said that while doing education you should not take money. Now you're understanding, this is the thing. Education is very pure, not only devotional life, even education, normal education also. The knowledge, it maintains the purity if it is given selflessly, by the, you can say, kripa of Guru, his happiness, he's happy with the disciple and is giving knowledge. The selfless knowledge used to give. So in general also, knowledge should not be sold. But nowadays we see so many things, uh, livelihood, running livelihood on basis of lecturing. So this is not good, because after some time we start saying, okay, I'm doing Bhagavad Saptah, how much you provide me? So Prabhu, you are quite famous, so but still we cannot give you more than 10 lakh. But 10 lakh is not, I don't go to those places where 10 lakhs. No, this much minimum I will not work. If you give me 25 lakh, I will come. So फिर बाद में बार्गेनिंग होता है कि आप 25 लाख दो, 30 लाख दो. Now there is another side of it. If somebody, karmi people they call in some companies, in some outside scenario, and so therefore it is a different actually. This sometimes this principle, and sometimes the devotee has to help in some project of a spiritual master. So then he can tell those people that, okay, I may come for 10 lakh, 20 lakh, okay. And he gives all the money to the spiritual master. So you find in institution actually some principles, these principles you can do it, but you have to be detached with these things. You should not keep money with yourself. You have to give it to the spiritual master. So then it can be followed in this way. Because he's quite known personality and anybody calls, they give money. So then he uses money for the spiritual master's business. Then it will be very good. It will be good actually. He has to protect his consciousness. One should not be neglectful in ordinary dealings. Now this is another thing. One should not be neglectful in ordinary dealing. Means ऐसा नहीं कि हम भक्त हो गए तो फिर ordinary dealing one should be neglectful means doing anything or speaking anything. So we should be careful in that also. One should not be under the spell of lamentation or in the loss or jubilation or in the. So when somebody is having loss, he is too much lamenting, and when somebody is having gain, he too much. It means he is quite attached. So one should not show this kind of symptoms. One should not disrespect the demigods, that is also there. One should not give unnecessary trouble to any living entity. Unnecessary trouble one should not give. So that also we discussed. One should carefully avoid the various offenses in chanting or in worshipping the deities. So this is another thing. One should avoid offenses. This is also Anga of Bhakti. And one should be intolerant to the blasphemy of devotees or the Lord. These are the, you can say, what Prabhupada says, listed. Yes. Without the following the above mentioned 10 principles, one cannot properly elevate himself to the platform of sadhana bhakti, the devotional service in practice. So without following the above mentioned 10 principles. So just see, before this 10, Prabhupada says these 10 principles are preliminary necessity for beginning the discharge of devotional service in regulative principles. ये भी किसका है? ये भी साधना भक्ति का ही है, लिख रहे हैं प्रभुपाद। साधना भक्ति के लिए प्रीलिमिनरी नेसेसिटीज ऊपर वाला है, ठीक है। और यहाँ पे भी प्रभुपाद बोल रहे हैं कि अगर हम ये फॉलो नहीं करेंगे तो वन कैनॉट एलिवेट वन सेल्फ टू द प्लेटफॉर्म ऑफ साधना भक्ति। इट मीन्स देयर विल बी सम इश्यूज विल कम इन आवर लाइफ। So these are the 10 items we should follow. So even somebody is blaspheming the Lord or devotees, or when we commit mistakes or offenses in holy name, so we should be alert that not to commit, or we should try to avoid such offenses. So that is also part of our sadhana bhakti. Or while earning our livelihood also, how we are earning our livelihood, that is also relating to our sadhana bhakti. Or becoming too much happy, too much attached to loss and gain, that is also relating to our sadhana bhakti. Disrespecting demigod is also relating to our sadhana bhakti. Then making a costly temple also related to our sadhana bhakti. Associating with non-devotees is also against our sadhana bhakti. Instructing somebody who is not desirous of bhakti, usko bhi sadhana bhakti. Aage. Altogether, the Srila Rupa Goswami mentions 20 items, and all of them are very important. Yes, please go ahead, read that. Out of 20.
Out of the 20, the first 3, namely accepting the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, taking initiation from him, and serving him with respect and reverence, are the most important. The next important items are as follows. First, one should decorate the body with tilak, which is the sign of the Vaishnavas. The idea is that as soon as a person sees these marks on the body of a Vaishnava, he will immediately remember Krishna. Lord Chaitanya said that a Vaishnava is he who, when seen, reminds one of Krishna. Therefore, it is essential that a Vaishnava mark his body with tilak to remind others of Krishna. Second, in marking such tilak, sometimes one may write Hare Krishna on the body. Third, one should accept flowers and garlands that have been offered to the deity and the spiritual master and put them on one's body. Fourth, one should learn to dance before the deity. Fifth, one should learn to bow down immediately upon seeing the deity or the spiritual master. Sixth, as soon as one visits a temple of Lord Krishna, one must stand up. Seventh, when the deity is being borne for a stroll in the street, a devotee should immediately follow the procession. In this connection, it may be noted that in India, especially in Vishnu temples, the system is that apart from the big deity who is permanently situated in the main area of the temple, there is a set of smaller deities which are taken in procession in the evening. In some temples, it is the custom to hold a big procession in the evening with a band playing a nice big umbrella. Band playing and a nice big umbrella over the deities who sit on decorated thrones on the cart or palanquin, which is carried by devotees. The deities come out onto the street and travel in the neighborhood while the people of the neighborhood come out to offer prasad. The residents of the neighborhood all follow the procession, so it is a very nice scene. When the deity is coming out, the servitors in the temple put forward the daily accounts before them. So much was the collection, so much was the expenditure. The whole idea is that the deity is considered to be the proprietor of the whole establishment, and all the priests and other people taking care of the temple are considered to be the servants of the deity. This system is very, very old and is still followed. So, therefore, it is mentioned here that when the deity is on stroll, the people should follow behind. 8. A devotee must visit a Vishnu temple at least once or twice every day, morning and evening. In Vrindavan, this system is followed very strictly. All the devotees in town go every morning and evening to visit different temples. Therefore, during these times, there are considerable crowds all over the city. There are about 5,000 temples in Vrindavan city. Of course, it is not possible to visit all the temples, but there are at least 1 dozen very big and important temples which were started by the Goswamis and which should be visited. Ninth, one must circumambulate the temple building at least 3 times. In every temple, there is an arrangement to go around the temple at least 3 times. Some devotees go around more than 3 times, 10 times, 15 times, according to their vows. The Goswamis used to circumambulate Govardhan Hill. One should also circumambulate the whole Vrindavan area.
Okay. These are 9. First, we'll see that. Yes. So, out of these 20 before, which are essential for our sadhana bhakti, 3 are most important. Accepting a spiritual master in taking initiation and then serving him with respect and reverence. This is a whole, you can say, like crux of all these 20 items. So spiritual master will tell us what to follow. So accepting spiritual master, accepting and the shelter of a spiritual master, taking initiation, and then serving him with respect and reverence. Okay, this is the sadhana bhakti. Also, then decorating one's body with a tilak, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says it awakens Krishna consciousness in others. One becomes intimated by this, that he's a devotee. And then he also chants Hare Krishna, like that. It reminds others of Krishna. Now, one may write Hare Krishna on body. Then one may also accept flower and garland from the deity and spiritual master. Prabhupada is adding spiritual master also together here. In the verse, it is not a spiritual master, but Prabhupada is adding here, so that we should have to understand that how spiritual master and deities, both are similarly respected. So the accepting flowers and garland that have been offered to the deity and the spiritual master and put them on one's body, on one's head, or around our neck, like that. So that is Nirmalaya, Prasad. In the form of prasad, we can accept it. So then one should learn to dance before the deity. This is also there. One should learn to dance. This is also regulatory principle. One should learn to bow down immediately upon seeing the deity or spiritual master. This is also thing. Like we find Sutakirtipu had come. He used to make chapati. He used to come. He used to offer obeisances. Then he used to give chapati. Again, offer obeisances, go back. So, and Prabhupada did not say that don't do so many times. He just allowed it. So by seeing spiritual master, one should offer obeisances. If spiritual master has gone inside, if we are seeing somewhere he's coming, we should offer. Again, we see somewhere he's coming from, again we should offer. So this is what mentioned. Immediately upon seeing the deity or the spiritual master, one should offer. Even deities also we should offer obeisances. This is also practice. When we see the Utsamurti, or when we see some procession is going on, we should offer obeisances to the deities. These are the culture of devotional service. These are the regulatory principles of devotional service. And then as soon as one visits temple, one must stand up. So in temple, one should stand up. One should not remain seated. It means that when the darshan opens, one should stand up to take darshan of the Lord. When the deity being born from for a stroll in the street, a devotee should immediately follow the procession. So this is another etiquette or regulations. One should follow the etiquette or regulation of following the procession of a deity. The Prabhupada says that these are the culture in Vrindavan and in many other temples. In Vishnu temples, the deities are taken into procession. Like we see every day morning, we have a Guru Puja. So Guru Puja, going in that procession of spiritual master. So, okay. Then it is mentioned, the neighborhood come to offer prasadam. The deities come out on the street and travel within the neighborhood while the people come out and offer prasadam. They offer some bhoga to the Lord when the deities come out. And they also follow the procession. So when the deity is coming out, the servitor in the temple put forward the deity accounts before them. So this is what we announce in the morning in Brindavan temple and in Juhu temple. This announcement is also done. How much donation has been collected yesterday in Food for Life or in deities or in for preaching. How much collection has come? So that also is announced along with the book distribution. So this is the picture you are seeing. Prabhupada is mentioning. So Prabhupada has established this system in our institute also, that we announce the book scores or the fund collection score like that. So the deity is considered proprietor of the whole establishment. So deities, even when deities are at our homes also, so the Lord is the proprietor. So Lord is the proprietor. So all the priest and other people taking care of temple are considered to be the servant. Now the devotee must visit Vishnu temple at least once or twice every day, morning and evening. So this is also regulation. Prabhupada says a devotee must visit. So yes. So in Vrindavan, so many temples are there. We cannot go to all temples. At least one should visit one temple twice. It is mentioned. One must circumambulate the temple 3 times at least. 3 times, or somebody can take 5 times, 10 times like that. Then one must worship the deity in the temple according to the regulatory principles. Offering arti, offering prasadam, decorating the deities. These things must be observed regularly. Regularly, one should offer arti, prasad, and so like these pujaris, they do that. Yes, Aman Prabhu, please
Yes,
read 10th point से पढ़ो आगे.
yes, please. One must worship the deity in the temple according to the regulative principles, offering arti and prasad, decorating the deity, etc. These things must be observed regularly. 11th, one must render personal service to the deities. 12th, one must sing. 13th, one must perform sankirtan. 14th, one must chant. 15th, one must offer prayers. 16th, one must recite notable prayers. 17th, one must taste Mahaprasad, food from the very plate offered before the deities. 18th, one must drink Charnamrit, water from the bathing of the deities, which is offered to guests. 19th, one must smell the incense and flowers offered to the deities. 20th, one must touch the lotus feet of the deity. 21st, one must see the deity with great devotion. 22nd, one must offer artika at different times. 23rd, one must hear about the Lord and his pastimes from Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and similar books. 24th, one must pray to the deity for his mercy. 25th, one must remember the deity. 26th, one should meditate upon the deity. 27th, one should render some voluntary service. 28th, one should think of the Lord as one's friend. 29th, one should offer everything to the Lord. 30th, one should offer a favorite article such as food or a garment. 31st, one should take all kinds of risks and perform all endeavors for Krishna's benefit. 32nd, in every condition, one should be a surrendered soul. 33rd, one should pour water on the Tulsi tree. 34th, one should regularly hear Srimad Bhagavatam and similar literatures. 35th, one should live in a sacred place like Mathura, Vrindavan, and Dwarka. 36th, one should offer service to Vaishnavas, devotees. 37th, one should arrange one's devotional service according to one's means. 38th, in the month of Kartik, that is October and November, one should make arrangements for special services. 39th, during Janmashtami, the time of Krishna's appearance in this world, one should observe a special service. 40th, one should do whatever is done with great care and devotion for the deity. 41st, one should relish the pleasure of Bhagavatam reading among the devotees and not among outsiders. 42nd, one should associate with devotees who are considered more advanced. One should chant the holy name of the Lord. 44th, one should live in the jurisdiction of Mathura. I'll continue, Raji.
Okay. So now these are 44 ones. So you see, all are related to the deities, everything. So many instructions for deities. And there are also 32 items which Prabhupada mentions in the 7th canto, 5th chapter, when Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Bandhanam, that shloka, Archanam part, Prabhupada mentions how we should not commit 32 offenses. So 32 offenses to deities, we should not do that. That will come here also. So 32 offenses we should not be doing. So, but here the positive things are mentioned. So many nice things which we sometimes we neglect also. So now when we read these things, these are the regulative principles for our sadhana bhakti. So then we'll be careful to observe those things. Like one must sing also, it is mentioned, one must sing for deities. One must perform Sankirtan also. Sankirtan outside Sankirtan or inside temple. One must chant, one must offer prayers, one must recite notable prayers. One must offer prayers to the Lord. Take prasadam. All these are the regulative principles. I think if devotee is just conscious of these principles, his whole day will be passed. He need not to look for anything else. Just whole day will be just engage in devotional service only. Either he's preparing to offer those things next day, like somebody has to give some offer some to the deity, then he goes to kitchen, he cleans the kitchen. After cleaning, he first bringing the items from market, then cooking the bhoga, then offering. So it takes a lot of time. And then somebody has to offer some prayer. So then he has to read Srimad Bhagavatam or something, recite those, write those, or just remember those prayers and then offer it to the deities. Correct? If one has to sing also, one has to go and take out time to sing. If one has to follow the procession of deities, then one has to really dedicate whole evening if it is happening in evening. So many nice ways our festivals are celebrated here. Boat festivals, Salila Yatra, and other processions also. Now, it is also mentioned here in the Kartik month, we should have a special kind of seva. In the month of Kartik, one should make arrangement for special services. So Kartik full of festivals. So special services arrangement one should be making. Janmashtami also, now it is coming Janmashtami. A special service one should observe, which we may not observe in the other part of the year. So, but on Janmashtami time or on Kartik time, one should do some special service. Yes, so nice. One should also relish Bhagavatam among devotees, not outsiders. And one should also associate with advanced devotees. Yes, please go ahead. Now.
Now, the total regulative principles come to an aggregate of 64 items. As we have mentioned, the first are the primary 10 regulative principles. Then come the secondary 10 regulative principles. And added to these are 44 other activities. So altogether, there are 64 items for discharging the regulative practice for devotional service. Out of these 64 items, 5 items, namely worshipping the deity, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, associating among the devotees, Sankirtan, and living in Mathura are very important. The 64 items of devotional service should include all of our activities of body, mind, and speech. As stated in the beginning, the regulative principle of devotional service enjoins that all of our senses must be employed in the service of the Lord. Exactly how they can be thus employed is described in the above 64 items. Now, Srila Rupa Goswami will give evidence from different scriptures supporting the authenticity of many of these points.
So it is mentioned here that Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya bhava. So sadhana bhakti means engaging our body, mind, and words. And we have also read the Anna Vilasita Sunyam Gyan Karmadi Anavritam Anukulenu Krishnanu Silanam. Anusilanam means the Silanam. Silanam means Pravartit Atmakam, Nivritti Atmakam. Pravarti Atmakam means trying to serve with body, mind, and words. Cultivation. Cultivation of bhakti by service to the Lord through or Lord or devotees through body, mind, and words. So that body, mind, and words, as Prabhupada is mentioning. So all our activities which are mentioned above, they should include our body, mind, and speech. Means one has to attentively do, not simply neglectfully or casually one should do. One should be attentive in mind, one should be clean in body, and one should also glorify the Lord and devotees like that. That is the way to perform sadhana bhakti. In this way, the senses must be employed. Yes, the evidence regarding devotional principles. So now we are starting here. Chalo, we'll go back to our previous commentary. Now chapter 7 begins here. These, now Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur mentions, these are 64 types of worships involving the body, senses, and internal organ. Some items, such as the surrendering to the feet of Guru, should be considered as a single item with no divisions. Others, such as the deity worship and kirtan, may have many internal divisions. Those are considered as one anga from considering the whole. Though one can find many angas within deity worship or other items, they can also be considered as a whole unit and regarded as one unit. Thus, there is no contradiction to counting 64 items only. Basically, when we say deity worship, it includes many, many things. So it has many anga, but when it is said that surrendering to lotus feet of Guru, it is only one anga, single items with no divisions. But deity worship and kirtan have many internal divisions. So they are considered as one anga only because they are taken as a whole, not as a parts. So when they are discussed also as a parts, so they can be counted as parts separately and they can be taken as whole separately. That is the meaning what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives. Now 96 shloka here. यहाँ तक हो गया ना? हाँ, यहाँ तक हो गया. Yes. अंगानां पंचकस्यास्य पूर्वं विलिखितस्य च निखिल श्रेष्ठय बोधाय पुनरप्य अत्र कीर्तनम. So the answer we'll be seeing later here translation. So mention that anganam of all the limbs panchakasya, the set of the five. Five are most important, as Prabhupada also said. At last purva likhitasya cha, they are also mentioned previously, but just to tell that they are shrestha. In all the 64 they are shrestha. Nikhila, in the complete they are shrestha, superiority. To just tell about the superiority, these five angas are again mentioned here. Atra kirtanam, again mentioned. Iti kaya hirsikantah karananam upasanah. So then again mention कि ये जो 64 प्रिंसिपल्स है इसको कैसे करना है. काया और ऋषिक मतलब सेंसेस, बॉडी, सेंसेस एंड व्हाट इज इंटरनल ऑर्गन मीन्स माइंड भी. कारणानाम means karananam means the internal organ like mind. So senses, body and mind, like that we have to do that upasana of the Lord. Same thing we read. चतुष्षष्टि पृथक सांगतिक सांगतिक भेदात क्रमादिना चतुष्षष्टि. So these are चतुष्षष्टि means 64 पृथक separately. Okay. So the same thing Vishwanath Thakur mentioned that. So some are prithak one item and some are mixed also. So they can be taken as a whole. ठीक है, चलेगा. Next. Now here we are coming to the next chapter, seventh chapter of NOD. Seventh chapter. तत्र गुरु पादाश्रयो यथा एकादशे 11.3.21. तस्मात् गुरुं प्रपद्येत जिज्ञासुः श्रेय उत्तमं शाब्दे परे च निष्णातं ब्राह्मण्योपशमाश्रयम्. Yes, पढ़ो. Yes, Prabhu.
Taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Guru from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.3.21. Therefore, any person who seriously desires real happiness must seek a bona fide spiritual master and take shelter of him by initiation.
आपका आवाज कम आ रहा है.
अच्छा तो जी अभी
पहले अच्छा आ रहा था, अभी क्यों कम आ रहा है?
हरे कृष्णा.
हाँ ठीक है, गो अहेड.
Yes, Shwaji. Therefore, any person who seriously desires real happiness must seek a bona fide spiritual master and take shelter of him by initiation. The qualification of the bona fide Guru is that he has realized the conclusions of the scriptures by deliberation and is able to convince others of these conclusions. Such great personalities who have taken shelter of the Supreme Godhead, leaving aside all material considerations, should be understood to be bona fide spiritual masters.
तो bona fide spiritual master, what are those? तस्मात् गुरु प्रपद्य जिज्ञासु श्रेयोत्तम शाब्दे परे च निष्णातम. So शाब्दे परे च निष्णातम. In the supreme, so just see here in the Vedic literature and it's the supreme is mentioned. To have taken shelter of the supreme personality of Godhead. First thing. So in the Vedic literature and in the Supreme Lord, they are well versed in the Vedic literature and they have full faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a highest ultimate objective. And Upash Brahmani means the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Upashamasrayam, and they are detached from all kind of material consideration. They are detached from all kind of material consideration. Sabde means in the devotional scriptures. Pare Brahmani means hearing and chanting about the Lord. Nishnata means thoroughly conversant. So one has to be thoroughly conversant in scriptures, devotional scriptures. Sabde means devotional scriptures. And Pare Brahmani means hearing and chanting of the Lord. So Pare Brahmani. So one should be engaged in hearing and chanting. See, here different meaning. Vishwanath Thakur mentioned that Parabrahmani means hearing and chanting. And Nisnata means he's well versed. Well versed in what? In Vedic literature, devotional scripture. Sabde. And Pare. परे ब्रह्मणी, परे को ब्रह्मणी से मिलाया गया जिसमें वो भगवान का कीर्तन कथा कर रहे हैं. So you just see here, it is taken from 11th canto 3rd chapter 21st verse. इसका बहुत लंबा पर्पट है. अब इसको पर्पट को पढ़ा जाए या ठीक है, अभी अभी नहीं पढ़ेंगे इसको, बाद में. So a guru has to realize the conclusion of the scriptures by deliberation. This is very, very important. That is why we all should learn the scriptures thoroughly. Means we have so many courses now after Bhakti Shastri, there Bhakti Bible. So we should learn these courses so that we can have depth of knowledge of our scriptures. And so then we can deliberate, introspect, do some introspection. Introspection is for ourselves, but deliberation is on scriptures. On scripture, some points we are deliberating. Okay, why scripture say like this? So then we are very easily, we will be logically able to connect the things, and people will feel very nice when they hear, because they are able to find that he is logically connecting the things. Why I am suffering, how I can be happy. Logically, one has to be told. So that happens by understanding Shastra deeply and then deliberating on those things. Yes, Mataji.
So, Prabhuji, people generally ask that how should we know that this person is self-realized? This guru is, particular guru whom they are attracted to. How should we know that that person is self-realized? Because here the qualification is written, na? Qualification of bona fide guru is that he has realized the conclusion of the scriptures by deliberation. So how would they know, or would we know that guru is...
See, for those who are in our institute, it is not very difficult because we are not the only members to recognize their greatness. The whole parampara, the management people, they also appoint one sannyasi or advanced devotee to be a guru. So then we don't misunderstand much. We may be having some doubt, but that can be finished off after hearing from them, after meeting them. So this is very important, that whole onus we cannot take. That how I have to only find out who is a pure soul, because I am myself is not pure. How can I find out? So then we have to find out through other people, some authorized institutes, what they say about it, some authorized acharyas, some bona fide acharya, what they say about this person. Then only we can take them for guaranteed. Otherwise, take them for guaranteed means they are bona fide spiritual master. So now that is about institution. Another thing, if you want to judge also, then these are the things. Conclusively, somebody has understood the scriptures. So he should be able to speak on conclusion of scriptures very nicely. Means even though other things are also there in scriptures, but he should bring out the conclusion of the scriptures very nicely, and he should not be doubtful whether what I should be doing. I should be doing some karma process, or I should be doing devotional service, because now the world is need of some karmic preaching, some karma kanda preaching, or some other kind of preaching. So shall I change everything because devotional service is not practical? People are not able to apply in their lives. So then it means he has not realized the conclusion of his scriptures by deliberation. So this is the important thing. Spiritual master, as we say, Guru na sasya, swajano na sasya, na mochayeta samupayati mrityum. If one is not able to deliver a disciple from this material world, which is only possible through the process of devotional service, and if the devotional service is not the conclusive goal, then what? Then he may get some benefit of devotional service, but again, he is not the highest spiritual master. He may be able to help people to liberate, but still they have some karma mishra bhakta. They can also get liberated. Karma mishra bhakta. But again, the spiritual master is not Suddha Bhakta, those who are only giving Karma Mishra Bhakti. If they are able to give the Suddha Bhakti, then they are Suddha Bhakta. So this is so important. We also read Shastre Yukti Cha Nipuna Praud Shraddha. Praud Shraddha. A pure devotee has Praud Shraddha, mature Shraddha, and Shastra Yukti Cha Nipuna. Is very well versed in the logical presentation of scriptures. And just see, as you are asking question, this is similar matching with the Uttamadhikari, which we read. He is knowing the scripture and also able to convince. Do you remember that thing? Even that time we have read, he's able to convince. The Madhyamadhikari is not able to convince everyone, but he's able to convince others also this conclusion. It means he's a Uttamadhikari, which is mentioned here. Is it deliberately? With his deliberation, he has understood the conclusion of the scriptures, and he is able to convince also, not simply understood, but convince also. It means he is a Uttama Adhikari, pure devotee. So on sadhana, bhakti, he is a pure devotee, Uttama Adhikari. And such great personality who have taken shelter of Supreme Lord, leaving aside all material consideration. So then we can know he is a bona fide spiritual master. Prabhupada used to say, Guru means who is addicted to Krishna. Addicted. And so he knows that conclusion of scripture is to worship Krishna. Vede se sarver aham eva vedya. Vedant krit vedavid eva chaham. If somebody is reading Vedas, so what he should ultimately come to know? He should know ultimately Krishna. He should know that I have to surrender to Krishna. I have to help my disciples to make them surrender to Krishna. Like that. Sri Krishna Dikshadi Sikshanam Yatha Tatreva Tatra Bhagavatan Dharman Siksheda Guru Atma Daivataha Amaya Anuvrittaya Yesha Tusseda Atmatma Do Harihi. Yes, Pari.
Acquiring knowledge after initiation from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.3.22. Accepting the bona fide spiritual master as one's life and soul and worshipable deity. The disciple should learn from him the process of pure devotional service. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, the soul of all souls, is inclined to give himself to his pure devotees. Therefore, the disciple should learn from the spiritual master to serve the Lord without duplicity and in such a faithful and favorable way that the Supreme Lord, being satisfied, will offer himself to the faithful disciple.
Now you can read this also.
Okay. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary. The Guru is called Atma because he is as dear as the self is. One should learn Bhagavad Dharma, Bhakti from the Guru, who is worthy of worship like a deity, Devta, and is as dear as oneself by sincere service. Amaya Anuvritya. The Lord, who is the real Atma and who gives himself to the worshippers, is pleased by those acts of bhakti.
So Guru is considered like our Atma. So what is mentioned here? Guru is so one loves one's Atma, one's Atma is most dear to oneself. So in a similar way, Guru must be most dear. Therefore, it is mentioned that his instructions are taken as a life and soul. Life and soul means our soul. So it is mentioned, Sri Krishna Dikshadi Sikshanam. Why one should take Siksha or Diksha from Guru? Then it is mentioned, Tatra Bhagavatan Dharman. So in the Bhagavatam Dharma, it is mentioned, Siksheda Guruva Atma Daivataha. So take initiation from a spiritual master or Siksha from a spiritual master, training from a spiritual master. The Sikshad means here mentioned training और इंस्ट्रक्शन गुरु आत्म दैवतः गुरु को क्या बोला गया है दो चीज बोला गया है कि वो एक देवता के समान उनको ट्रीट करना है और आत्मा के समान ट्रीट करना है दो चीज सो ही इज लाइक अ आत्मा एंड देवता द वर्शिपेबल डीटी सो two ways how to reciprocate with guru or we can say identity of Guru in our life. Or Guru. What is identity for us? How do we recognize him? So we take him like our Atma or our Devata, worshipable deity. Therefore, you find the pastime of Anantacharya. When Balaji called him, you come, I'm calling. He did not go. He said that I am busy serving my Guru. He told me to make a garland. So he was busy in serving Guru. Then Balaji, he came later. Then Balaji said, I don't want your garland. Eh? So he said, what is this? My Guru has said that I should make garland for you and you have to accept the garland. He's saying. Then he said, I don't accept. It's my choice. And I don't accept your service also. You go away from here. Then he says, who are you to tell me to go away? My Guru has kept me. You are also on rent, I am also on rent. So you cannot say to me. You are also, because Varaha Kshetra, Varahadev has given place to Srinivasa Govinda to reside there. So he said, you are on rent, you are also on rent, you have to pay rent to Varahadev. So this is Varaha Kshetra. And I am also come on the instruction of Guru. So you cannot say to me. So I am on service and you are also hosted. You are like hosted here. So better we should cooperate. So like that we can see how much he has affection for Guru. So Guru Daivatah, Atma Daivatah, Sikshad Guruva, Atma Daivatah, Amaya Anuvrittaya. Then Amaya Anuvrittaya, Vishnu Chakravarti mentioned that by sincere service, Amaya Anuvrittaya. So Amaya Anuvrittaya. Here also mentions without duplicity. So Prabhupada mentions a disciple should learn from the spiritual master to serve the Lord without duplicity in such a faithful and favorable way. So here Vishwanath Thakur mentions that one should serve Guru by sincere service. So both way, Guru serving Lord or serving Guru, serving Lord and serving Guru. So how? Amaya, without duplicity, sincerely one should serve without duplicity. Anuvritya, by submissive service, one should please Guru. तो सेता सेटिस्फाई करना चाहिए गुरु को. आत्मा, यहाँ पे आत्मा सुपर सोल है और ऊपर वही है? Atmadaha, who gives himself. So the Lord being satisfied will offer himself to the faithful disciple. It means the Lord becomes Atmadaha. भगवान अपने को दे देते हैं किसको? जो गुरु से सीखता है कैसे भगवान की विदाउट डुप्लिसिटी सेवा करने सिंसियरली, और जो गुरु को अपना आत्मा और देवता मानता है, गुरु को भी मानता है, भगवान को भी मानता है, और इस तरीके से भगवान उसको दे देते हैं अपने को. तो ये इंस्ट्रक्शन यहाँ पे बताया गया है. थर्ड, विश्रम्भेण गुरो सेवा यथा तत्रैव आचार्यं मां विजानीयान् नावमन्येत करहिचित् न मर्त्य बुद्ध्या असूयेत सर्वदेवमयो गुरुः.
Serving the Guru with reverence from Srimad Bhagavatam. One should know the Acharya as myself. One should know the Acharya as myself and never disrespect him in any way. One should not envy him, thinking him as an ordinary man, for he is the representative of all the demigods.
Amazing.
Thakur's commentary. One should know that the Acharya belongs to me, Acharyam Mam. This agrees with sayings such as remember the revered Guru as dearest of Mukunda. One should not disrespect the Guru by thinking of him as an ordinary human.
हाँ, यही नार की बुद्धि है. यहाँ पे बोला गया है one should not envy him. Why one should not envy him? If a guru has some more facilities, if guru is more famous, one should not envy him, thinking him as an ordinary man. Okay, he is also like me. He just came 20 years before in bhakti and he has become my guru. So, okay, so now he should not have more facility or more recognition, more disciples. So one should not envy, for he is a representative of all the demigods. Because Krishna is saying he is myself. It means he is the representative of all the demigods. So all the demigods are there in front of us in form of a guru. That's why you find the story of Upamanyu. When Ashwani Kumar told, when he fell into a well, he became blind and he fell into well. Ashwani Kumar came and told, this is a cake. If you eat this cake, your eyes will come back. So before that, the Dhaumi Rishi, who was the guru of Upamanyu, he comes to the place and he says to the Upamanyu who was fallen in the well, Upamanyu, I have taught you mantra from Rig Veda, how you can call Ashwani Kumar and get your eyes back. Please chant. And then he leaves that place. He does not pull the disciple out. He just says, you chant. And the disciple chanted. And before that, Upamanyu knew that already he was having very great rehearsal for his mistakes of enjoying the offerings of Guru. He was going and begging and eating himself. So many times his Guru told him not to eat. He had to just offer to Guru. And unless the Guru calls him for eating, he should not eat. So Upamanyu had a hard learning. So at last, when he fell inside the well, then Gurudev said that you please chant Rigved mantra. And then Upamanyu chanted, and Ashwani Kumar came and they said, please eat this cake. And then he said, no, without offering to Guru, I will not eat. Then they said, Are, once your Guru was also fallen, and he chanted and we gave and he ate. So he said, that is his glory. I do not worry about that, but I will not eat. And then this demigod became very pleased. And then they blessed him to have one golden teeth. तो उनका एक गोल्डन teeth है, उपमन्यु का एक जो दांत था, golden teeth. And he himself got his eyes back. So he had a golden teeth and one teeth, and also eyes came back. So the whole thing is what he understood, that my Guru is a representative of all the demigods. So one demigod is saying something, but what my Guru is saying, I should follow. Even though demigods may say, follow this, I should not follow, because my Guru is the representative of all demigods. Whatever he say, I will follow. So this is what Rupa Goswami Pad is giving the proof from statements of the scriptures. Fourth, sadhu vartamanu vartanam yatha skande samrigyah shreyasham hetu pantha santapa varjita anvapta sramam purve yena santah pratisthire. Yes.
Following the scriptural rules from the Skand Puran, one should follow the scriptural rules which give the highest benefit and are devoid of hardship, by which the previous devotees easily progressed. Srila Jeev Goswami's commentary: Sadhu Vartma, proper path, means the path composed of rules from the Shruti and other scriptures.
Yes. So which path? Which are composed of rules from Shruti and other scriptures. Shruti, Smriti, Purana, Adi. Sadhu Vartmanu Vartanam. संताप वर्जिता. देयर शुड नॉट बी टू मच संताप. संताप नहीं रहना चाहिए. इसमें क्या बोला गया है? बाय विच द प्रीवियस डिवोटीज हैव इजीली प्रोग्रेस्ड. ऐसा पाथ फॉलो करो जिससे सभी डिवोटीज ने आसानी से प्रोग्रेस किया हो. संताप वाला ज्यादा नहीं. संताप ज्यादा मुश्किल से प्रोग्रेस किया है, ज्यादा हार्डशिप से प्रोग्रेस किया है. जैसे एग्जाम्पल है ध्रुव महाराज. आपको क्या लगता है ध्रुव महाराज बिना संताप के प्रैक्टिस किए? ध्रुव महाराज का बहुत ही हार्डशिप है कि नहीं भक्ति? ध्रुव महाराज ने कैसे भगवान को प्रसन्न किया? क्वाइट टफ. सो कैन यू फॉलो दोस थिंग्स? नो, यू कैनॉट फॉलो. व्हाट एल्स? गिव सम अदर एग्जांपल्स. जिसने भक्ति बहुत टफ सिचुएशन में भी किया है.
प्रहलाद,
हाँ, प्रहलाद महाराज, करेक्ट. तो प्रहलाद महाराज,
गजेंद्र.
हाँ, Gajendra also you see. So Gajendra also you see. So Gajendra was in great trouble actually. Then he chanted the name of Lord. He glorified the Lord. He spoke prayers for the Lord. So that is not for the regular. Hmm? Yes, when we fall into some situation, we have to pray to the Lord. That is one thing. बट संताप वर्जिता मतलब पाथ कैसा होना चाहिए? सिंपल पाथ होना चाहिए जिसमें हम अपना सुबह मंगल आरती करें, तुलसी आरती, फिर नाम जप करें, फिर प्रसाद खाएं, फिर उसके बाद हम कुछ प्रचार करें, कुछ अपना सेवा करें, जॉब करें। तो सिंपल पाथ होना चाहिए। हाँ? तो वो वाला पाथ बोला गया है, बहुत टफ वाला पाथ नहीं है, संताप वर्जिता। जैसे कई कई लोग कुछ महीने में ही, जैसे इवन हरिदास ठाकुर एग्जाम्पल, हरिदास ठाकुर इफ यू ट्राई टू फॉलो विल डाई ओनली, करेक्ट? संताप वर्जिता। सो उसमें बहुत हमको संताप हो जाएगा। एंड नाउ इट इज मेंशन फ्री फ्रॉम संताप वर्जिता, डिस्ट्रेस वी शुड बिकम फ्री फ्रॉम। अनवाप्त, अनवाप्त नॉट एक्सपीरियंसिंग श्रमम फटीग, जिसमें जिस प्रोसेस में पिछले जो डिवोटीज हैं वो आसानी से प्रोग्रेस किए, उनको फटीग नहीं फील हुआ, उनको ज्यादा श्रम नहीं फील हुआ। ऐसा बात करना चाहिए, क्योंकि हम क्या है, साधना भक्त है। तो हमें हार्डशिप, जैसे एग्जाम्पल है, बाहर के लोग कुछ कुछ क्या करते हैं, 3 3 दिन फास्टिंग रखते हैं। इवन यू फाइंड इवन अमरीश महाराज लाइक रांति देव फास्टेड फॉर 48 डेज, 48 डेज फास्टिंग किया। अब 48 डेज हमारे लिए तो बहुत मुश्किल है, एक दिन मुश्किल होता है, 48 डेज तो बहुत मुश्किल है। तो ये बहुत मुश्किल वाला बात, ये आप नहीं कर सकते। तो बड़ा ज्यादा वो नहीं, संताप वर्जिता, अनव अनवाप्त, नॉट एक्सपीरियंसिंग श्रमम, श्रमम ज्यादा फटीग नहीं एक्सपीरियंस किया, तो वो वाला पाथ में फॉलो करना, दैट इज कॉल्ड साधु वर्तमानुवर्तनम। स्कंद पुराण में ऐसा दिया है। ब्रह्म यामले च श्रुति स्मृति पुराणादि पंचरात्र विधिं विना ऐकांतिके हरेर भक्तिर उत्पातैव कल्पते। यस।
Also, evidence from the Brahma Yamala. Even if a person seems to have attained steadiness in practicing pure bhakti to the Lord, that bhakti is a misfortune if it rejects the rules of Shruti, Smriti, Puran and Panchratra due to lack of faith in them. Jiv Goswami's
देखो
commentary.
अभी तो क्या लिखा है, इवन इफ अ पर्सन सीम टू हैव अटेंड स्टेडीनेस इन प्रैक्टिसिंग प्योर भक्ति, बट अगर भक्ति रूल्स नहीं फॉलो कर रहे हैं, मतलब ऊपर हमें थोड़ा बोला है ना कि अगर आप थोड़ा स्टडी भक्ति भी कर रहे हो लेकिन रूल्स फॉलो नहीं कर रहे, दैट इज ऑल्सो नॉट गुड। सो बोथ थिंग्स वी आर सेड, यू आर टेकिंग सम इजी पाथ, साधु वर्तमानु वर्तन्ते, but that should also follow some rules. It's not that without rules. Yes, go ahead. You go, Swami.
This quotation shows that the fault in not observing the rules of the scriptures. With the mention of Shruti and other scriptures, it means that among the scriptures, one should accept the Vaishnava scriptures, for one should accept only those things for which one is qualified and not the other things. This is understood from the verse Swe Swe Dhikara, Srimad Bhagavatam 11:21 previously quoted. Bhakti without the rule of scriptures means bhakti with disregard for the rules because of having no faith in scriptures. It does not mean disregard because of fatigue or unintentional ignorance. This is understood from the verse Dhavan Nimilya Nan Va Netre. O King, one who accepts this process of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead will never blunder on this path in this world. Even while running with eyes closed, ignorant, he will never trip or fall. Ekantiki in this verse means even after having attained steadiness. Thus, even after attaining steadiness in the practice of bhakti, if it is executed without regard for scripture rules, because of no belief in the scriptures, then it produces disaster.
हाँ, देखिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। सो भक्ति इज स्पॉन्टेनियस, ओके। सो वन कैन से आई एम फॉलोइंग साधुज, आई एम फॉलोइंग माई साधु स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर, व्हाई यू आर वरिंग अबाउट स्क्रिप्चर्स? बस गिव अप द स्क्रिप्चर्स, आई हैव नथिंग टू डू स्क्रिप्चर, माई गुरु हैज सेड आई विल फॉलो, बस फिनिश। सो this is not the attitude. One has to regard the scriptural rules. So therefore, one has to read the scripture and understand why his guru has said something. So it is mentioned also, bhakti without the rules of scripture, bhakti with the disregard for the rules because of having no faith in scripture. It does not mean the disregard because of fatigue or ignorance. See, the fatigue means what? Fatigue means when you do too much. That is called fatigue. And ignorance means we do not know about it. You do not know what are the rules of scriptures. So fatigue and ignorance, these are not the cause. But what is the cause? Faithlessness in scriptures. Disregard, faithlessness. So this verse is clarifying what? One should not have faithlessness in scriptures. ठीक है, फेथलेसनेस नहीं मेंटेन करना है. ऊपर बोला है कि while following rules, one should be steady and without fatigue. स्टेडी रहो, करते रहो धीमे धीमे, लेकिन फटीक से ज्यादा नहीं. Fatigue, don't get fatigue. So this is about the fatigue, and next is about having faith in scriptures. Both are important. That I have to follow scriptures only, even though I choose a path which is without fatigue. Just example है, somebody is saying, I want to chant. ठीक है? Chant the holy name. It's a scriptural. Now he will say, I will go and chant in राधा कुंड. कहाँ जाऊंगा मैं? राधा कुंड में जप करूंगा. क्यों? बस बहुत है, मेरे को भगवान के प्रति बहुत प्रेम आ रहा है, और मेरे लिए वही, मेरे क्योंकि मैं हर जगह सो जाता हूँ और मेरे को भगवान के प्रति कुछ इमोशंस फील नहीं होता. जब मैं राधा कुंड में जाऊंगा तो मेरे को सारे इमोशंस फील होंगे, इसलिए मैं जा रहा हूँ राधा कुंड में. सो देन ही गोज टू राधा कुंड. Though it is mentioned, one should reside in the dham and such places, but the guru says, no, you cannot go, because you will now start imitating as a great soul, and then you'll fall down. So then he is disregarding actually. Even though he is trying to follow the easier path for himself, he can go to Radhakund, but he is neglecting the scriptural instruction which are given by Guru. Do not go. Otherwise, you will become Sahajiya. So you should go in association of senior devotees, so that you will be protected. So like this, actually, one should not have faithlessness in scriptures or the words of Guru. Bhaktir aikantiki veyam avicharat pratiyate वस्तुतस्तु तथा नैव यद अशास्त्रीयते यस पढ़िए. ओके, लेट मी आस्क समबडी एल्स. 10-15 मिनट बचा है, थोड़ा लोगों को जगाना चाहिए. ओके, हु कैन? श्रीजी लता देवीदासी माता जी इज देयर.
Yes, Prabhu Hare.
Okay, you leave it. I will ask somebody else. Sharayu Sawant. Not there. Nitya Tript Devidasi Mataji is there. Not there. Swarnamayi Gaurangi Devidasi Mataji. Nandaraj Prabhu there. Amrish Pran Prabhu, are you there? Not there.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु मैं एक्चुअली सेवा में हूँ, तो
हाँ, नंदराज Prabhu, yes.
प्रभु जी मैं टेम्पल में हूँ, तो इधर
Okay.
सेवा.
Okay. ओके, सनातन गोपाल प्लीज रीड। मैंने बोला कि जैसे क्लास में बच्चों की क्लासेस होते हैं तो छुट्टी हो जाता है तो छुट्टी में सब भागते हैं, छुट्टी से पहले छुट्टी हो गए आधा गायब हो गए ओके, यस प्लीज रीड।
This type of bhakti appears to be pure only because of misjudging the facts. Actually, it is not aikantiki, undiverted bhakti at all, because lack of spiritual scriptural obedience is seen in it. Chico Swami commentary. How could it be pure Aikantika Bhakti if there is if there is disregard for scriptures? On the other hand, if it is actually pure bhakti, then how can it produce misfortune? This this verse answers the devotion of Buddha, Dattatreya, and others whose philosophies completely reject the Vedic scriptures, apparently to be Aikantika Bhakti. But that is because of one's misjudgment only. For the devotion, yeah, completely rejects the scriptures. The Vedas, its Angas and scriptures following the Vedas. If that is so, then there can be no proper result for according to the Vedanta Sutra. Yoniva Yonitvat. The Lord is known only through scriptures. Vedanta Sutra 1.1.3. Therefore, if one disregards the Vedas and supporting scriptures attained through the beginningless authorized disciplic succession, embodying the teaching of the Lord, who is the very source of Buddha and others, how can that bhakti be pure? This should be the meaning. Moreover, it is by the Vedic scriptures that one can understand the Buddha and others have the status of avatar. Moreover, it is by the Vedic scriptures that we understand that Buddha preached atheistic scriptures in order to bewilder the asuras. This is explained in Triyuga portion of the Vishnu Dharma. There is also explained that Buddha was only an Avesavatar. Thus, one should not take this his teaching as authoritative.
Okay. So as you find there's a Maharashtra also, the Tatare people, the Tatare temple is there. Then Buddha you will find in eastern side, Assam, Bihar, Nepal. So there you will find the Buddha's teaching. So then they are the Supreme Lord, even Dattatreya also. So it is mentioned the type of bhakti appears to be pure because of misjudging the facts. We do not know the facts. We have not judged it properly. Actually, it is not ekantiki, undiverted bhakti at all, because lack of scriptural obedience is seen in it. This is very, very important. When somebody is neglecting the conclusion of the scriptures and also sometimes details also, just making something else, cooking out something else. So then that cannot be taken as aikantiki bhakti. So to mention the Vedas, its Sanghas and scriptures for. So such kind of devotion, which is not aikantiki, they completely reject the scriptures, its angas and scriptures following the Vedas. Shastra yonitvat. Because Buddha did not follow the Shastra, we do not follow his teachings. So if one disregards the Vedas and supporting scriptures attained through the beginningless authorized disciplic succession, how can the bhakti be pure? So very, very important. Like nowadays also some gurus are speaking about bhakti, but then they have to quote from the references from the Vedas. Otherwise, how to know whether they're speaking their truth or not? Whether their speech is aikantiki bhakti or not? So it is so much important to know the Shastra. Just see. Otherwise, you'll be sentimentally of we have to respect everyone, but we cannot follow everyone. Okay. So it is by Vedic scripture that we understand that Buddha preached atheistic scriptures to bewilder the asuras. That is given in the Tri Yuga portion of Vishnu Dharma. He was Avesh avatar. Fifth, Sadharma Pricha Yatha Nari Dye. Achirad Eva स्वार्थः सिद्ध्यत्य येषाम् अभीप्सितः सद्धर्मस्यावबोधाय येषां निर्बन्धिनी मतिः. Yes.
Inquiry into Bhakti from Nardi Puran. Those whose minds are attached to understanding Bhakti to the Lord quickly attain all their desired goals.
Those whose minds are attached to understanding Bhakti to the Lord quickly attain the all desired goal. So achirad, quickly. Chirad means long time. Achirad, quickly. Eva swartha. सवार्थ. सवार्थ है क्या है? स्वार्थ वगैरह. अच्छा ओके. सर्वार्थ. स्वार्थ नहीं, सर्वार्थ. जितने भी उनके अर्थ हैं, गोल्स हैं, वो सभी क्या हो जाएगा? सिद्धि हो जाएगा. एशाम अभिप्सितः, जो भी आपकी सिद्धि, जो भी आपके अर्थ डिजायर्ड हैं अभिप्सित, वो सबकी सिद्धि हो जाएगी. अचिराद हो जाएगा, तुरंत हो जाएगा. कैसे हो जाएगा? सद्धर्मस्य अवबोधाय येषाम निवर्धन्ति मतिः. तो बताया गया कि सद्धर्म, ट्रांसडेंटल ड्यूटी, if one mind is attached to understanding the bhakti to the Lord, quickly attains. Okay, so it means अगर हम जैसे क्या बोलते हैं, जन्म कर्म चमे दिव्यम एवं युति तत्वतः त्यक्त्वा देहम पुनर्जन्म नैति मामेति सुअर्जुन. So there Krishna says, just know my birth and know my activities and you are liberated. So here the similar way कि if you know the sadharma bodhaya, if you have understood it, with your intelligence, with your mind, with your heart, then what happens? Your all goal will be fulfilled. So that is the meaning of it. Means why I should ask from Guru Sadharm Pricha? क्यों करूं मैं Sadharm Pricha? Why I should inquire about religion? Because once you understand Sadharma, then all your artha, जो भी तुम्हारे desire सब fulfill हो जाएंगे. ये समझ में आ रहा है ना? ये इसका मतलब है. कृष्णार्थे भोगादि त्यागो यथा पद में. अभी कृष्ण के लिए भोग आदि सब कुछ त्याग करना है, तो पद्म पुराण से बोला गया है. हरिम उद्दिश्य भोगानि काले व्यक्त व्यक्तवतस तव विष्णु लोक स्थिता संपद अलोला सा प्रतीक्षते. यस.
Renouncing enjoyment to please Krishna from Padma Puran. When you give up enjoyable objects at the time of enjoying, aiming at the pleasure of the Lord, the permanent wealth situated in Vishnu Loka awaits you. Ji Goswami commentary. Tava, the possessive case, can be understood as Tvam, the accusative case. Therefore, the sentence means the wealth situated in Vishnu Lok awaits you, who have given up enjoyments for pleasing the Lord.
Now, Rupa Goswami is saying ki why you should give up. Because the benefit what you're going to get, if you give up enjoyment to renouncing enjoyment to please Krishna, then what happens? When you give up enjoyable object at time of enjoying, aiming to at the pleasure of the Lord, the permanent wealth is situated, awaits for you. ये बताया गया. मतलब जो इस संसार का धन छोड़ेगा उसको शाश्वत धन मिलेगा, संसार का ऑपुलेंस छोड़ेगा. हरिम उद्देश्य भोगानी काले त्यक्त्व. ठीक है. हरि उद्देश्य, उनको उद्देश्य मान के कि भगवान को प्रसन्न करने के लिए मैं अपने भोग को छोड़ रहा हूं, तो विष्णु लोका स्थिता संपद, वहां पे संपद मिलेगा. प्रतीक्षते, वो प्रतीक्षत मतलब आपके लिए प्रतीक्षा करेगा. तो इधर का छोड़ा तो उधर मिलेगा, ऐसा कहने का मतलब है. द्वारकादि निवासो यथा स्कंदे. द्वारका में निवास क्यों करना चाहिए? संवत्सरम वा षण्डमासान् मासं मासार्धम एव वा द्वारकावासिनः सर्वे नरा नार्यस चतुर्भुजा. Yes.
Living in Dwarka or other holy places from ISKCON Puran, anyone who lives in Dwarka for 1 year, 6 months, 1 month, or even half a month, whether man or woman, attains a four-armed form in spiritual
ये
world.
बोल, अभी आप हम में से कितने लोग रहे हैं? 1 महीना, 1 महीना बोला है, 1 month।
Or even a half month.
सी, 1 मिनट, 1 साल, ठीक है, 6 महीना, 1 महीना या आधा महीना तक आ गया, ठीक है। 15 डेज तो रुकना ही पड़ेगा, हमारा यात्रा भी होता है कम से कम 7-8 दिन, तो मतलब डबल यात्रा करना पड़ेगा। डबल यात्रा करेंगे तो 4 हाथ होके आएंगे हमारे, विल गेट चतुर्भुजा। तो संवत्सरा वा, संवत्सर वा, संवत्सर मतलब 1 साल, वा षड, षडमासान, षडमासान, 6 मास, या आगे क्या बोला है, फॉर मंथ मासाम, या मासार्धम, आधा मास, 1 साल, 6 महीना, 1 मास या आधा मास, एव वा द्वारका, द्वारका के लिए बोला गया है, वासिनः सर्वे नरा नार्यस चतुर्भुजा। तो ये शास्त्रीय स्टेटमेंट है, हमें क्यों द्वारका में रहना चाहिए। तो ये सब बेनिफिट बता रहे हैं रूप गोस्वामी, बात की आपको स्पिरिचुअल फॉर्म मिलेगा द्वारका वैकुंठ में। आदिपदेन पुरुषोत्तम वासस च यथा ब्राह्मो अहो क्षेत्रस्य महात्मयम्, समन्ताद्दश योजनम दिविष्टा यत्र पश्यन्ति सर्वान् एव चतुर्भुजान्।
The word Adi indicates Puri as well. As illustrated in Brahma Puran, the glory of Puri with its surrounding area of 80 square miles is inconceivable. The Devatas see everyone residing there as having 4 arms.
हाँ, तो जो पुरी में गया उसके 4 हाथ होंगे, उधर भी चतुर्भुजान बोला गया है। अहो क्षेत्र महात्म्यम समन्ता 10 योजनम, 10 योजनम मीन्स 80 माइल्स, 80 माइल्स का क्या है, पुरी है। हम्म, पुरुषोत्तम, हाँ, आदि पदे है ना, आदि पद में बोला गया पुरुषोत्तम वासस, यानी पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र में जो रहेगा तो वहां पे क्या होगा, द्विष्टा यत्र पश्यन्ति, वहां पे द्विष्टा जो देवता लोग हैं, द रेजिडेंट्स ऑफ हेवन, वो क्या देखते हैं, सारे जो लोग वहां पे होते हैं, मतलब चतुर्भुज हैं। मतलब ये नहीं कि चतुर्भुज बाद में कम भुज हो गया, ऐसे नहीं, मतलब जो वहां पे गया रह रहा है वो चतुर्भुज के रूप में उसको देखते हैं, मतलब उसको वैकुंठ फॉर्म मिल जाता है। गंगा आदि वासो यथा प्रथमे, गंगावादी, तो गंगा के नजदीक वासो, ओके, यावैलच श्री तुलसी विमिश्र कृष्णांग्रिरेणु अभ्य अभ्यधिकाम्बुनेत्री पुनातिशेषानुभयत्र लोकान् कस्त्वां न सेवेत मरीष्यमाणः। यस।
Living near the Ganga, from the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam 119.6, the river Ganges by which the king sat to fast carries the most auspicious water, which is mixed with the dust of lotus feet of the Lord and tulsi leaves. Therefore, the water sanctifies the three worlds, inside and outside, and even sanctifies Lord Shiva and other demigods. Consequently, everyone who is destined to die must take shelter of this river. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur commentary. The Ganga purifies the worlds along with Shiva. Now and in the future, Ubhayata Ubhayatra, and is the best water, the leader of all water, Ambunetri, since she is mixed with the dust from Krishna's feet and Tulsi leaves, which shine with beauty.
Ganga purifies all the worlds with the Shiva also in the future, and in the future and is the best water, leader of all the water, Ambunetri. Ambunetri means leader. Since he is mixed with the dust of Krishna's feet and Tulsi leaves, which signs with beauty. ठीक है. So therefore, the water sanctifies the three worlds. So anybody who lives near Ganga, again, it's conducive for devotional service. because it purifies big people like Lord Shiva got purified, demigods got purified. So anyone who does bhakti living near Ganga is conducive for bhakti. यावद् अर्थानुवर्तिता यथा नारदीये यावत् स्यात् स्वनिर्वाहः स्वीकुर्यात् तावद् अर्थवेत् आधिक्ये न्यूनतायां च त्य- त्यवेवते च्यवते परमार्थतः. Yes.
Living with minimal material needs from Nardi Puran, the person with wisdom concerning material objects accepts as such as much as is necessary for the maintenance of bhakti. By accepting more or less than that, the person will fail to attain the highest goal. Jiva
Hmm.
commentary. Swanirvaha means the survivor of one's bhakti rather than one's body.
हाँ. यावत् स्यात् स्वनिर्वाहः. यहाँ पे बोला कि भक्ति का निर्वाह ना कि शरीर का. स्वीकुर्या तावद अर्थवित. तो स्वीकुर्यात स्वीकार करो, वन शुड एक्सेप्ट व्हाट, जो निर्वाह के लिए जितना नीड है उतना अर्थवित. One should know. So it's mentioned that the person with the wisdom, the wise person, concerning material objects, accepts as much necessary for the maintenance of bhakti. ज्यादा नहीं, भक्ति के मेंटेनेंस के लिए वो लेता है स्वनिर्वाह. By accepting more or less, the person will fail to attain the highest goal. So, च्यवते, one deviates or falls. परमम अर्थितः, तो परमम अर्थ से वो गिर जाएगा अगर उसने ज्यादा ले लिया. तो जाहिर सी बात है, व्हेन यू कलेक्ट मोर देन व्हाट इट इज कॉल्ड अत्याहार, व्हिच इज कॉल्ड अत्याहार. व्हेन यू हैव लेस, व्हेन यू आर नॉट यूजिंग ओनली, देन इट इज फल्गु वैराग्य. तो फल्गु वैराग्य भी नहीं होना चाहिए और अत्याहार भी नहीं होना चाहिए. ये दोनों इंपॉर्टेंट है. हम्म. वर्जित, ठीक है, फल्गु या अत्याहार वर्जित. तो ये जितना अपने भक्ति के निर्वाह के लिए चाहिए उतना देना चाहिए. ओके, एनी क्वेश्चन? नहीं तो हम एंड करेंगे टुडे. नो क्वेश्चन. ओके. शिला प्रभुपाद की जय. भक्ति रसायन सिंधु की
ये
जय.
प्रोजेक्ट जस्ट पूछना था, ये
हम्म,
जस्ट पूछना था,
हम्म.
ये जो बोला है, जो अभी जस्ट द्वारका और जगन्नाथपुरी का ही बोला है ना प्रोजेक्ट, वृंदावन ये नहीं आता है ना उसमें,
और वृंदावन के लिए बोलने का जरूरत नहीं
वो
है.
अलग है? ओके, और
वृंदावन
द्वारका,
तो ऑलरेडी हाई है. तो
ओके.
ऐसा नहीं कि उन्होंने नहीं बोला, उन्होंने दो एग्जाम्पल दे दिए. वृंदावन तो ऑलरेडी उन्होंने एनओआई में इतना अच्छा उदाहरण दिया है. तिष्ठन
हम्म.
तजे तज्जन अनुरागी गामी. कि कैसे ब्रज में हमें रुकना चाहिए, ऑलरेडी एनओआई में बोला है काफी. वृंदावन, गोवर्धन, सब कुछ बोला है.
पर प्रभु जी, इसमें मुझे ऐसे लगता है कि वैकुंठ में मतलब स्थान मिलेगा, गोलोक वृंदावन में नहीं मिलेगा.
हाँ, मतलब इतना बोलोगे कि एटलीस्ट ये कम है
फोर
क्या?
हंड्रेड यस, लेकिन प्रभु जी हमें तो वो चाहिए ना.
नहीं, हम उसकी आकांक्षा नहीं कर रहे कि हमें 400 चाहिए, लेकिन इसको बोला गया कि हम उतने काबिल हो जाएंगे कि वैकुंठ जाने लायक.
और प्रभु जी एक बार लेकिन वहां चले गए तो वहां से वापस तो आते नहीं है, तो वैकुंठ में ही फिर रहना
नहीं,
पड़ेगा.
अगर अगर आपको चतुर्विधा मुक्ति मिली तो हमने देखा था प्रभुपाद क्या बोलते हैं, ही कल्टिवेट्स फर्दर
ओके.
डिवोशन एंड गोज टू
यस.
हायर प्लैनेट्स, मीन्स गोलोका. अगर आपकी भक्ति डोरमेंट है, अभी वहां पे भी डोरमेंट नहीं, उसे बोलेंगे यूथफुल, पूरा यूथ नहीं हुआ है उसका, पूरा ग्रोन अप नहीं हुआ है भक्ति, तो देन उस समय भी थोड़ा डोरमेंसी है उसमें. तो भक्तों के एसोसिएशन में, शुद्ध भक्ति एसोसिएशन में वो शुद्ध हो जाएगा भक्ति, तो देन वी कैन गो टू गोलोका. सो व्हेन वन बिकम्स अकिंचन भक्त, वन डिड नॉट वरी. अगर कोई अकिंचन भक्त बनता है, चाहे वैकुंठ का बने चाहे उसका बने, लेकिन हाँ, हमें नहीं जाना है तो नहीं जाना है, तो हम उसके लिए सोचेंगे ही नहीं. तो यहाँ पे कहने का मतलब है कि हमारे लिए क्या है कि अरे ये वैकुंठ है. जैसे प्रभुपाद बोलते थे, माई टेम्पल्स आर वैकुंठा. प्रभुपाद ये नहीं बोले माई टेम्पल्स आर गोलोक वृंदावन. ही सेड माई टेम्पल्स आर वैकुंठा. सो वैकुंठा मीन्स देयर इज नो कुंठा, इतना ही कम नहीं है, कुंठा नहीं है, भगवान का दर्शन हो रहा है। वी आर वैदी भक्ता, सो वैदी भक्ता मेनली वर्शिप द लॉर्ड इन विद रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस। सो वी वर्शिप राधा कृष्णा इन फॉर्म ऑफ लक्ष्मी नारायण, बिकॉज दे एक्सेप्ट वर्शिप इन वैदी, वैदी रूल्स रेगुलेशन से एक्सेप्ट करते हैं राधा कृष्ण, लक्ष्मी नारायण वर्शिप। तो हम वैसा वर्शिप कर रहे हैं उनको भी। तो हमें वैसा नहीं चाहिए, हमें तो राग वाली भक्ति चाहिए। तो ठीक है, धीरे धीरे करके आएगा आगे। सो जब हम धाम में रहते हैं तो ये उन्होंने उदाहरण दिया है कि आप चतुर्भुज आपको मिल जाएगा। हम्म, पुरी में भी रहेंगे तो आपको चतुर्भुज की तरह सब लोग देखते हैं, देवता लोग तक देखते हैं, यू हैव 4 हैंड्स लाइक दैट।
ओके, तो उधर से ऊपर जाया जा सकता है। मुझे लगा कि उधर एक बार चले गए तो फिर वहां पे रहेंगे।
हाँ, उधर से हमने डिस्कस किया था, है प्रेम सेवा उत्तरा, सुख ऐश्वर्य उत्तरा, हमने डिस्कस किया था ना। ये जो प्रेम सेवा उत्तरा और सुख ऐश्वर्य उत्तरा है, ये लोग का फर्दर डेवलपमेंट होता है भक्ति का। और जो ऐकांतिक भक्त हनुमान, रुक्मिणी, अर्जुना, उद्धवा, ये लोग ऐकांतिक भक्त हैं, इनका कुछ नहीं होता है, ये जहाँ पे हैं वहीं पे रहेंगे। और इन सभी में ऐकांतिक भक्त में टॉप मोस्ट कौन है? गोविंद हृत मानसा, जिनका हृदय भगवान के, जिनका मन भगवान, मन और हृदय भगवान ने चुरा लिया है। गोविंद हृत, चुराया है भगवान ने उनके मन और हृदय को, यानी गोपीज, खास करके गोपीज। तो देखो, गोविंद हृत मानसा में भी जैसे गोपास भी हैं, ठीक है, वो भी भगवान का सेवा कर रहे हैं। लेकिन उसमें वो बताया गया कि जो भगवान के सेफ्रॉन डस्ट पार्टिकल जो उनके लोटस फीट पे हैं, वो डस्ट वाला जो वर्शिप करते हैं, वो डस्ट को पाना चाहते हैं जो है, तो वो वालों को श्रेष्ठ बताया गया, यानी गोपीज। तो भगवान के डस्ट को कौन अपने शरीर पे लगाना चाहेगा, वो वाला है। और वो भी इसमें श्री डाला है, श्री का डस्ट। मतलब जो गोपियों से जब भगवान लीला करते हैं तो उनसे टच होके उनके लोटस फीट में जो डस्ट रहता है, उनके शरीर से जो डस्ट होता है, वो वाला डस्ट चाहिए। तो आप समझ सकते हो, यानी गोपियों वाला, गोपियों से का अनुराग चाहिए उनको। हम्म, तो उसमें सबसे श्रेष्ठ है राधा रानी, तो वो वाली भक्ति चाहिए हमको। ठीक है, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, हरे कृष्ण।